Arsenal 0, Manchester City 2, and let's talk about this final. Now, going into this game, Arsenal were the favourite to win this trophy. They're still in the Champions League, they're still in the FA Cup, they're leading with 9 points in the Premier League, they're very consistent, they're very aggressive, they're very dominant, you hardly score against them. So, Arsenal were favourites going into this final. For Manchester City, already out of the Champions League, they are still in the FA Cup, they are really not doing well in the Premier League. So, going into this game, Arsenal were actually the favourites. Now, let's talk about the teams. And both teams were missing key players. For Manchester City, the likes of Donnarumma, Josko Vardio, Diaz didn't play, Makike as well. For Arsenal, Merino, Odegaard, Eze, Timber, Raya, and both managers decided to go with their second choice goalkeeper. Now, let's talk about the keeper incident. Now, I understand the context when it comes to Mikel Arteta starting keeper because he believed it would be unfair to keeper since he has been playing in this competition, and to bring in Raya would have looked very somehow. But then again, when you look at the context, now for me, I think this trophy was very important for both teams, but I think Arsenal needed it more. Now, the reason why I say Arsenal needed it more is because they've not won it in a long time, and also this will be like that boost to go and get the next one, especially when you look at everything Mikel Arteta has been doing. He has been building this team gradually, and winning this trophy would have just given them that boost of, oh, we've gotten that first one, let's go and get the rest. And it's been a long time they won it. I think their last final they lost as well. I think that was in 2018, and it's been like in 1992 or 1993. Like, I can't even remember. I'm not even sure I watched that. I just checked it online, and that was the last time they won this competition. Now, for Manchester City, the reason why I say it's important for them also, although Arsenal needed it more, but for Manchester City is also important because Pep Guardiola is building a new team and he has new set of players, the likes of Cheki, Donnarumma, Semenyo, Maguire, and winning this trophy will just give those guys that confidence of, okay, we've gotten the first one, let's see what we can get, or maybe in the future we know more will come. Like, it's always good for new set of players to at least get a feel of winning a trophy basically. But I would say Arsenal needed it more. They actually needed it more because of just the context, the fact that they've not won it in a long time, and and also their last final they lost it. Now, it could have been very nice if they won it, but I guess it didn't just work out for them. Now, let's talk about the game itself. In that first half, Arsenal were the better team. They had more clear-cut chances. They almost scored the goal, but Trafford came in clutch. You expect Kai Havertz to bury that chance, and it was a double save. And also, that first half, I think in the first 20 minutes, Man City were not really settled. We didn't really create. We were not doing anything well. We couldn't pass the ball. We couldn't control the game. That first 20 minutes, Arsenal were just all over us and causing us problems. But after that, I think we started getting into the game. Although we didn't take any shot on target, I didn't see Kepa diving or making any save. Like, Kepa was actually relaxed in that first half. We didn't really do much in the first half. Arsenal were actually the better team. They almost scored. I think they had like 2 or 3 clear-cut chances that they could have punished us, but the first half ended 0-0. Now, going into that second half, I was actually expecting both teams to like still go for it, because in that first half, you could maybe both managers were sort of playing it safe, that kind of thing. But I think Arsenal were the better. Arsenal were the better team in that first half. But in the second half, I was expecting, okay, both teams now will go for it. But I was very surprised when I saw Arsenal were sitting very deep and just allowing Manchester City to be all over them, and we started putting pressure on them. Arsenal could not even make a pass. They were just woofing the ball. They couldn't connect 1 or 2 passes. The pressure was just too much. And when the pressure it keeps coming like that, Man City were like knocking on the door, trying to make something happen. And Kepa made a mistake, and Nico Riley in the right place at the right time got the goal. That first goal was very, very important in this game because I believe whoever scored first will have that advantage. And when we got that first goal, I think that put pressure on Arsenal as well. Now they needed to come out. And again, even when we scored, we were still playing, trying to get the second goal. And that second goal was a very good goal. Yes, the first one was a mistake, but the second one was a very, very good goal. And it was 2-0. And when we scored the second goal, Mikel Arteta was now making changes. But that second half, I don't think Arsenal were really in the game. They didn't have their best game. The second half, City were, of course, the better team. I think we were far the better team in that second half. And when Mikel Arteta made those changes, he brought in Madueke, I think, and he brought in Califori. He brought in Califori as well. Califori hit the bar. Also, I think there was a header that it was Gabriel that almost scored a header that hit the bar as well. They had like one or two chances in the second half as well, but I think it was already too late. Now I want to talk about some players for Manchester City. I would say they all did well. When you look overall, like Haaland didn't really have his best game. Like Saliba and Gabriel kept him quiet, but the fact that yes, he didn't score, but that Haaland presence was, I think he makes the other guys to be free, and because when you focus too much on him, the other guys can actually do something, like they can cause you problems. So the likes of Semenyo, Cheki, and Doku were actually causing Arsenal problems. Bernardo Silva today and Rodri were fantastic. I think Declan Rice and Zubimendi really struggled in that midfield. Rodri, for me, controlled the game very well. When I saw Kushanov and Nate Aki at the back line, I was really worried. But because I was like, how do we cope? Like Kushanov and Nate Aki, I was expecting Gyökeres to like bully them. But they did very well and they kept a clean sheet and they had that pace to actually catch up, because I was thinking, okay, Pep will go for Kushanov and John Stones, but Nate Aki is faster than John Stones and Pep decided to go for him and Kushanov, and they did excellently well. On the left hand side, Nico O'Reilly was doing well, moving into the midfield. Same thing with Nunes on the right hand side. So for the Man City players, honestly, I think they all did very well. Now for Arsenal players, I would say Bukayo Saka didn't really have his best game at all. Bukayo Saka didn't really have his best game. I didn't think Trossard played very well. I didn't think Gyökeres played very well. The only player I can say that stood out for me maybe Saliba and Gabriel. Those were the two guys that actually played very well. For Arsenal, I don't think Declan Rice or Zubimendi played very well. I think Arsenal, majority of their players were really not good today for this game. The majority of their players were really not good. If there's any player that really did well, I would say maybe Saliba and Gabriel. Those are the two guys that actually did very well for Arsenal, because they were able to keep Haaland quiet, but still that's allowed the other guys to flourish. Now, I don't think winning this trophy will really affect Arsenal very bad, that they can't really focus on the Premier League. No, they are leading with 9 points in the Premier League. It's just one of those games. Now they know they need to focus now more on the Premier League and give their all in that for that one. They're still in the FA Cup. They're still in the Champions League. So they are still in a very good situation. But I don't think losing this competition to Manchester City is going to be like a dent on them, or that mentality thing of, like they'll be scared and all that. I don't think so. If it was like 2 or 3 point gap, like they were leading with 2 or 3 point gap, maybe that could have maybe put pressure on them and give Manchester City that mindset of, we'll definitely catch you, because we know they're still coming to the Etihad. But I don't think it will be any of those situations. Massive credit to Pep Guardiola. He has won the most Carabao Cup. He has really done well, especially for this new team he's trying to build. For Arteta, the only criticism I will give to him is the fact that Pep, whenever they had the ball, they didn't know what to do with it. Let me explain. Because I noticed when Doku, Haaland, Cheki, and Semenyo, when Kepa had the ball, they were not pressing him. They just allowed him and they were forcing him to go long. And you could tell, it just looked like Arsenal didn't know how to play out from the back, or their defenders didn't know how to like pass the ball to their midfielders. They were struggling because each time Kepa had the ball, you just watch the 4 attacking players of Manchester City they just allow him. Like they were not pressing him or rushing him. They just allowed him to like look for a player, and that was forcing Kepa to hit the ball long, and we were winning the ball back. So that was the only place I'll criticize Mikel Arteta, because I felt he couldn't find a solution to that. But apart from that, he's still in like major competitions, the FA Cup, the Premier League, and also the Champions League. It will be very, very crazy if we meet Arsenal again in the FA Cup, because we have Liverpool to play at the Etihad. So I'm expecting us to at least edge that one, but because Arsenal round in the FA Cup is not difficult. They have an easy route also in the FA Cup. So I won't be surprised if I see Arsenal in the final again. I need to be very, very crazy if we meet Arsenal in the FA Cup final. But for today, I will say Man City overall. When you look at the game, Man City were the better team, and congrats to Manchester City. The boys did very, very well. And yeah, that's it for me, guys, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you very much.